So, this movie is about the hellevator. What other mode of conveyance could we portmanteau a scary word into?
No, immediately a mode of conveyance. I'm thinking about those. What are they called in airports? Where it's like a.
Oh, travelators.
Travelators, but then it's going to be the same elevator, isn't it?
Travel
murder, travel. Fall over and hurt yourself.
How about the Shyambulance?
Shyambulance, oh my god.
It's an ambulance, but M. Night Shyamalan's in it.
No! No! This must be his cameo! Oh no, I'm in an M. Night Shyamalan film.
Oh god.
Oh, what's the twist?
Now. Oh god. The NHS is defunded, there is no hospital to go to.
No!
Oh god, M. Night Shyamalan, it's your most plausible twist yet. Hello, and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that regularly asks people to hang tough. I'm Paul the mechanic and former soldier, getting credit in this movie. It's a new year and a new recommendations month, and to kick us off just the right way, we have Helen Gaffney from Roll Plus Heart.
Hello.
Helen, tell us about your pods.
My pods?
Yeah.
I only have the one pod.
Oh no.
But it's okay. Maybe one day I'll have 6 pods.
You need multiple pods. Everyone who comes on here has at least
Everyone
multi-pods.
needs at least 3 pods. Yeah, so I am the eponymous, not eponymous? Eponymous? Not eponymous.
The eponymous Mrs. Roll Plus Heart.
I am the business cat from Roll Plus Heart. That's what people seem to refer to me, so that's what
yes.
I'm gonna own it at this point. Meow, I am a cat. I am here live.
Amazing. Tell us about Roll Plus Heart, the podcast.
Well, yeah, it's an anthology pod. I suspect I'm going to be very bad at describing this compared to Bex and Jen. I'm not going to lie. It's an anthology style TTRPG actual play podcast in which we play different games and have a jolly old time. It's got a very similar tone to Quest Fantastic because we share 2 of their members, so it's all very friendly. And quite giddy as a rule. We usually just laugh at each other for a couple of hours and then we put it out there. You know, that's how we do.
Entirely fair enough. It's worked for us so far.
Yeah.
I think it works pretty well for Roll Plus Heart as well.
It's clearly a functioning way of doing podcasts. I think people just like to hear us talking absolute shit.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, Helen has doomed us to live an old wives' tale with the 2010 supernatural horror film Devil.
Oh, this is not good.
Where's elevator 6 in inspection mode?
Oh, come on, man.
What's happening?
Nothing, just relax. What was that? You all right?
You're bleeding.
Oh my god.
It feels like something bit me.
Does anybody have anything sharp on them? They might have cut her.
No.
You mind if we search your pockets?
Yes, I do mind. You mind if we search yours?
What was that?
It should have been Hellevator. It would have matched its name then, at least, for cheesiness.
Oh god, the film was written by Brian Nelson. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Directed by John Eric Dowdle. Doesn't seem right. And it's produced by M. Night Shyamalan. Oh, okay. Okay.
It'll make sense now.
It all is coming together, and I'm assuming now that Brian Nelson and John Eric Dowdle are pseudonyms.
Or they're just very good friends.
Very good friends / sock puppets that he has.
Just picturing him in a little room with his little sock puppets. Brian, shall we do a film? Yes, I think so, M. Night.
I've assembled my crew.
Lefty and righty.
Just give him the money. Critics reacted to the film like the very worst case scenario involving toast with jam on one side. You'll never believe what's going to happen.
best line in any film. I'll save that for
Oh
later.
god,
though.
yeah, it's so good. We're definitely coming back to that.
Absolutely.
Candice Frederick at Real Talk Online said, Devil isn't really scary. The acting stinks and it's not that clever. But you can rest knowing that the culprit isn't a hand puppet. Now, I can't get access to the rest of her review, and I cannot remember what 2010 thing led her to really fear the idea that the bad guy might be a hand puppet in the end. Is this from the fallout of Avatar? I can't remember the ending of that movie.
Was there a hand puppet involved in that?
Was there a thing that back in 2010 or so? Back in 2010, were most horror movies ending with the twist surprise that the villain was a hand puppet the whole time? I can't remember. Anyone has any clue what that might be about? Right in.
When did The Boy happen?
Oh god, I think later. There was The Boy, there was Annabelle. Both of these are later, I think.
I feel like they are later, aren't they? 2016, yeah, The Boy. That's way too late.
Yeah.
What's
and
happening?
The Conjuring was like 2012. I have no idea what this is all about. Somebody get in touch with this one.
I suppose actually the village, not hand puppets necessarily, but it was, it was Muppet style person in big floppy thing. Sorry if you've not seen The Village and still want to watch it, I guess.
Oh god, twist, it was Muppets the whole time.
It was Muppets the whole time. Oh no.
Oh god, I had to do another critical review because this one is amazing. Jeanette Katsoulis over at the New York Times says, circling wildly within the film's main set, a stalled elevator car, or hurtling up and down an empty shaft, Mr. Fujimoto's camera is as giddy as a tween at a Justin Bieber concert. Nice. Timely reference there. Just a very 2010 review of this movie.
Extremely 2010.
Justin Bieber's audience are now people in their 40s at the very least.
And they're all on drugs. And they all lived happily ever after.
Mostly statins. Because we're all so fucking old. Public, meanwhile, felt that they deserved the very best mattresses. This is a little long, but I think it's worth it. Erin Andress on Google says, honestly, I have no clue why I love this movie so much. It seems like every time I'm looking for something to get me on edge, I automatically think of this movie.
What?
The movie is set in just one building, with a few scenes elsewhere, which therefore makes it very easy to follow along. I like that too. I hate it when there's so many locations, I get confused.
Oh, it just seems like there's a lot of, other films, there's so much effort put into getting locations.
Watching a James Bond movie. Russia? Oh my god.
What are we doing in Russia?
A well-made movie does not only affect a person's emotions when they are watching the movie, but also affects them after too. The fact is that this movie has a way of making people want to pray afterwards, just for good measures, people, meaning me and my friends, would say. Literally, when the movie got to the point where the detective was telling the lady and man to take responsibility, I started confessing to all the bad things that I could remember, which led to a very embarrassing moment where my friends were looking at me like I went crazy. Anyways, overall, most memorable movie that you would love to watch again. 64 people found that helpful.
What the hell? Oh, you're right. I was looking for a film that would make me confess my sins at the end.
Yes.
Thank you for this really helpful
Finally, something
review.
we could use to extract confession. I mean, yeah, you could maybe use Devil to extract confessions from people, but not in the way you may think. Shut it off. I'll tell you anything.
I'm sorry. What did I do to you?
What's that about toast? I'll tell you anything.
I was watching it with Craig, and I did get that tone from him. Like, have I done something wrong? Why are we doing this? I'm sorry for whatever I did to you this week.
You know why.
You know what you've done, bitch.
The film has 49% on Rotten Tomatoes, 44% on Metacritic, 6.3 on IMDb, 66% on Google, which is the lowest I think I've ever seen a Google score.
Oh,
It was
Jesus.
extremely easy to please. And it made $62 million on a $10 million budget.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's all right, they
That's
saved
pretty
all
good.
that money on locations.
Yes.
And actors, maybe?
Yeah, they may have just gotten crew. Oh god. So Helen, you Jesus in a pancake. If Devil is real, must good movies be real too? By which I mean, how come Devil?
How come Devil?
How come Devil?
Well, Sarah stole my actual choice, quite frankly.
Oh, really?
'Cause Spanglish was a film we both watched together and subsequently
wow.
walked out on. So here's some
Oh my
backstory for
God.
a previous episode. Yeah,
very
so
previous
that would
episode.
have been my first sort of thing. But then I thought, well, I like horror movies. I get like excited for horror movies. Maybe I should pick a horror movie that really disappointed me.
Oh yeah.
Because when I first watched this, I was like, oh, the premise is interesting. Let me give this a go.
Yeah.
Because it is. At least you think,
Yeah.
oh god, okay, yeah, that's interesting for a horror movie just to be set in this tiny, like, you know, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, I love that. I love contained movies like that. And high
why not?
concept
Yeah.
premises is always fun.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe this will be good, and I watched it, and I was deeply disappointed, as you might imagine.
Oh no.
So it was just what came to mind, because it, like I said, I wanted to do a horror movie because that's what I watch most of the time.
Yeah.
I spent 80% of my
Excellent.
life watching horror movies, so
Oh yeah. That's definitely relatable.
yeah, I think it's fair. I'm the direct opposite of Jen.
And Goodman as well. But so long as I have this podcast, I will continue to use it to force these people to watch horror movies.
They must. It's good for them.
It is good for them.
Yeah,
You know,
get
it's good medicine
a
for
healthy
the soul.
dose of afraid and
Oh, indeed.
just paranoia as well. Like, you need to be like a normal
Absolutely.
human filled with distress.
It's a way of processing it. Exposure. Oh god. All right, well, let's have a look at what happens then in
Yes.
Devil.
Let's do that.
And the movie starts, and we start with, oh fuck, the Night Chronicles. I forgot about this. It flashes up with the very confident number 1. And it's like, oh god, that's right. There were going to be loads of these. This was going to be a series
God.
of inexpensive horror movies.
I didn't
and they
even know that.
announced, yeah, they announced the next Night Chronicle. It was I can't remember what it was going to be called, but it was going to be a jury who are deliberating over a case and decide to use a Ouija board to contact the victim.
Really?
Yeah, again, it's not a bad premise, but you know how it's going to run. You know that it's going to be like 5 scenes inside the actual premise, and then the rest of it's going to be a detective running around trying to solve the thing.
Oh my god, that just makes me think of the actual real life story of when like a court
Ooh.
genuinely used this was in like the 1700s or something stupid. A court
wow.
genuinely used a ghost as a witness.
Ah, I love that.
It was I'd have to look it up because I can't remember exactly what the name of this was, but like, oh, such ludicrousness. But that is an insane thing.
That is an insane little thing from history that
History
nearly
that
happened.
existed,
And
possibly.
apparently, the third movie in the series was going to be what became Split, so it did eventually happen.
Well, they made Split, and
They
that
made
was
Split.
fine.
It was fine for Shyamalan. It was
Yeah.
like The Visit.
It was
Yeah.
it was very nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely didn't have the staying power that I think Shyamalan maybe assumed it would. God, you know, the other day, actually a few weeks ago, The Sixth Sense was on TV, and I thought, oh yeah, let's watch it to see all the warning signs as to what Shyamalan would eventually become. That is a very good film.
It's
that
a
has
good
none,
film. Yeah, there's
none
no
of
red
his
flags.
weird traits. I know. It's so bizarre. Like every so often, a line of dialogue would be said. Like I think Haley Joel Osment is in the car scene, the famous car scene with Toni Collette, where he's about to tell her the truth about his gift.
Yeah.
And it starts with him looking at her and saying, "I'm ready to communicate with you now." But he's just a weird kid. So you expect him to say weird
he's meant
stuff.
to be strange.
Yeah, you don't realise that's as natural as Shyamalan's gonna get.
Shyamalan can write weird kids, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. He just unfortunately makes all of his characters weird kids.
Even when they're weird adults.
I do notice that the Wikipedia plot summary for this movie seems to have been written by M. Night Shyamalan, so I'll just read the first bit of this.
Oh, please do.
This is literally the plot summary from Wikipedia. A Bible verse, 1 Peter 5:8, appears on screen. An unseen man narrates with a story about his childhood, where his mother explained the circumstances that surround the devil roaming the earth. A man jumps to his death from a skyscraper, leaving a suicide note about the devil's approaching presence. Shortly thereafter, and I'll leave it at shortly thereafter, but what a phrase. What a phrase for Wikipedia. And that is what Wikipedia sometimes will get flagged with as too much detail. I think.
Too much flowery language.
We don't need a blow-by-blow.
To be fair, I feel like that description is almost exactly right. It's just that you can't write a description of this film without sounding insane.
That's true. That
To
is
be
true.
fair
It's
to
just,
them.
and then.
And then that weird shit happened, and then there was another weird thing that happened.
So all of that did happen, and in and amongst it, we did meet our main cop, Detective Dark Past, or Zachary Squinto, as I've called him.
Mr. Cynic Face. That is what
Yes,
I think.
Mr.
I just
Cynic
called him
Face.
Cynical Cop, but that's what I've written him as. Oh, bless him.
He's seen too much.
Bless him with
Too
his
much of
dark
this
past.
world. Yeah.
Too old for this.
He
shit.
announces, he comes to the scene and announces that it can't possibly be a suicide because the guy grabbed a rosary before he did it, and that would be weird for someone about to commit suicide to do.
I think he said it's like it must be a suicide because didn't he say? Isn't that what he said? It must be a suicide because he grabbed a rosary, but it couldn't possibly be him being afraid. And I was like, actually no, because if you're afraid, you might. I feel like I'm more likely to be praying. If I'm a religious person, I will pray if afraid. Like,
Also,
that's illogical.
what's the working theory that he got so afraid he just ran through a window and forgot he was on the 100th floor? Left like a guy-shaped hole in the window as he tried to run out of it.
So like, yeah, because the idea is, maybe he was pushed, but then like, if he was pushed, he was religious, and it was someone with a gun, yeah, sure, he could have been praying on his rosary, like, please don't let me be pushed. I'm afraid, God, please help. You know, like, what are you talking about? None of that makes sense.
It's the best form of defense. But anyway, it's time to meet the passengers of the hellevator. Mm-hmm. They are security guard too old for this shit. Jodie Foster. I think at least initially. She loses the resemblance as the time goes on, but up front I put Jodie Foster.
Fair play. She just doesn't look like anyone to me.
No, I hate that when that happens, but she had some Foster-ish chin work going on.
Foster elements.
Speaking of the opposite of that problem, every white dude from the 2010s is here. Perhaps Topher Grace could be the landing one, but he's here. We've got M. Night Shyamalan. Not just because he seems to be a man of Indian heritage, but he is a lot like M. Night Shyamalan's self-inserts and is the one who most espouses Shyamalan-esque dialogue.
Well, at least we got tunes. Bum, bum, bum. Don't sit under that apple tree with anyone else but me. Come on, Grandma, you know the words. Anyone else but me.
Don't be a jerk.
I'm sorry. Miss Manners, did I offend your noble sensibilities?
Why don't you lay off, pal?
Why don't you suck a butt? This is great. Let's just pick on the nice guy for bringing a little levity.
Maybe we should all just stop talking for a while.
Sure.
And the old lady who is the most physically frail of the bunch, but is weirdly judgmental of everyone. And one of these people is the devil. Which could it be?
Who could it possibly be? See, I'd forgotten the twist of this. And Greg, like, I was saying to Greg, it must be such and such. And I was pausing the film because he was going to get something. He said, it's this person. I was like, really? For God's sake. I was annoyed.
All the little clues. And then we meet my favourite character from any movie ever. All those previous people get stuck in an elevator together. Mm-hmm. And then we meet Jacob Vargas, who, as that old trope, the suspicious Catholic Mexican security guard.
I love him.
Okay. See it? Yeah, look, that's just grain in the image. That's, it's a mistake. It's like when people see Jesus in a pancake or something.
No, esto es algo malo.
We all know that character. And he will be here to know way too much about what's going on. The very specific thing that is going on.
Oh, so obvious.
Oh, God.
Like,
so
he's
good.
Latinx? Okay, let's make him extremely religious and have his mum tell him horrible stories when he was a child.
Oh, they're
about
so
suicide.
They're so folksy, those non-whites. They're bound to have some applicable knowledge about what went on.
Oh, they know everything that's going on.
Wouldn't it be great if there was like a main character in a movie and they had all this like folklore that they believed was going on? It just turned out to be something completely different.
Yeah, that'd be great. I love that.
Oh, it wasn't a Wendigo after all. Okay, it was a Japanese snake demon.
Oh dear.
That's well outside of my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Sorry, everyone.
I only know about Wendigos.
You can take the turnips off of your faces now. It's not going to help you. I don't know. I like to think that's a working measure against Wendigos. They hate turnips.
I mean, it's going to be something stupid like that, because they can't just be ripping people's faces off, all the time. Like, there must be something they don't like. And turnips, I think, is a reasonable concept.
If you had never experienced vampires before, you would think the garlic thing was pretty wild.
That is mad.
What, it just doesn't like garlic.
Who doesn't like garlic as well? That seems
Well,
like
exactly.
that's just so unlikely.
Easily the worst part of the eternal life deal is not being able to have a good garlic bread.
You can have a good garlic bread. What is the point in living if you can't eat garlic bread excessively?
Oh god. Well, Guard, too old for this shit, is also too claustrophobic for this shit, so he starts to tear the lift that they're in apart because that makes him feel better. But they decide that they can't die hard their way out of this. What are you going to do? Shimmy up the cables? Well, there should be regular doors going up the shaft. Ridiculous. Stay in this lift.
Sorry, every time you say shaft, I can't help myself. I've got a problem. I need to get my brain out of roll plus heart mode.
That's one of the things, that's the first week of elevator repair school, is just trying to get you to stop laughing at the word shaft.
Stop you giggling at shaft, yeah.
Oh god.
Oh dear.
So M. Night Shyamalan, the character and the producer, shows off the dialogue that is absolutely representative of Brian Nelson? It's nothing. It's a sock puppet. It's entirely... He starts hawking his wares in this elevator.
When we get out of here, you're gonna need a good rest.
Mattress mania.
That's us. Now, everybody's had their mattress too long. Am I right? You didn't follow that advice about flipping it every few months. And now you've worn a groove into it and you think, well, I'm used to it. So hey, but I do miss the way it felt when it came fresh out of that bag. Look at those shoes. They've been through the mill. They're saying someone deserves a better place to lie down.
You're insulting my shoes.
The point is, a new mattress will cost a lot less than you think. You don't have to be as well off as this one.
Ah, I kind of love that though. Elevator pitch, genius. Of course you have
There you go. This isn't what they had in mind when they just suggested elevator pitches. Okay, so with an elevator pitch, you have 90 minutes to try and pitch your idea.
You have almost an entire day, as far as I can gather.
yeah, that's true. They do leave at night. Oh god. So elevator repairman Roy gets jump scared by a runaway lift. And then somebody bites Jodie Foster. It literally is just a case of listing things here. There's no causality from one thing to the next.
I like elevator repair guy, and I don't know why. I have no good reason for it, but I just appreciate his face.
He reminded me of, I think it's Thomas Middleditch, the guy who was actually in Avatar. He's a guy who was in things for a bit.
He's just in stuff.
Yeah, he had a good vibe. There was a bit where he was like, the only other thing I can think of is to go to the roof and try and reset this thing manually, which sounds like a pain in the ass as he's saying it.
Yeah,
and the guy on the radio is just like, yeah, do that. And he's like, okay, I'm on my way.
I guess I will.
I can't relate to that work ethic, but I respect the shit out of it.
Also, what pay does he get to sort of just hoist himself down elevator shafts? There must be significant, surely there is hazard pay for that, surely.
There's got to be a company, not just a guy who takes care of this. Yeah. Although I do love, there was a great moment later on where one of the guys goes to the basement and finds that the problem might be a cable that's just shorting out on a puddle. And so he picks it up with a stick and then sees the almost flat nail that the cable has been has been suspended over this puddle, and just tries to work it back onto there.
Oh, I think I wrote obvious electrocution is obvious. Yes, I did. I did write that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yes, Jodie Foster has been bitten by something, and that's a tense development, so we better cut away from the lift for quite a bit of the immediate aftermath. We deal with the security guards trying to speculate about it. Eventually, the power goes out again, and there's more loud noises until M. Night Shyamalan dies. Oh god, what a tense development. We better cut away from the lift for quite a lot of the immediate aftermath. They'll figure it out.
My thing is, everything interesting in this film happens in the dark. You're just like,
yeah.
This is the bit I want to enjoy. I want to see them getting murdered. Please, these annoying characters, murder them with my sight,
What happens is it cuts to black, and then when the lights come on, someone's been killed, including someone who's just been hanged, sorry. It'd be amazing if, the deaths got more and more ridiculous, the lights come back on and a piano was falling on someone.
That would be a thing of beauty, to be fair.
How is this happening?
If only they did.
This
They've somehow fallen into a spike pit, sorry.
It's just here in the lift now. Now we have to be careful with the spike pit. Oh god. This prompts the superstitious guard to say the funniest shit from any movie ever. It's absolutely sublime, and I will sample every single moment of it.
So today, someone committed suicide. A woman got hurt. Now a man is dead.
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
Like, how many times have you seen a child fall and barely miss the edge of the table with their head? Like, why is it so rare that they hit it?
Get to your point.
Look.
What are you doing?
Oh. When he's near, everything goes wrong. Toast falls jelly side down. Children hit tables. And people get hurt.
Hey, the police do not want to hear this stuff from Eris, okay? So just stop now.
Sometimes he takes human form and torments the damned on earth before stealing them away. Where I come from, we call it the devil's meeting.
Is this guy for real?
If only whoever wrote that, and I wonder who, wrote all of the dialogue for this, because it's the most wonderful moment ever. Haven't you observed that children always fall over and so narrowly miss tables? No, I haven't noticed that.
I haven't seen that at all. What are you talking about?
Why do they so rarely hit the table? It's like you might have some clumsy kids in your family.
Hey, like, you should probably be child-proofing your house, quite frankly. If that's something that's happening often, clearly it's not a safe place for a child.
Oh, God. Well, at this stage, every white guy decides to slowly climb out of the elevator when the other people in the lift suddenly decide that he's trying to escape and wrestle him to the floor.
Get up there, I can maybe figure out what's wrong with this thing. I'm a mechanic. Pretty good with this sort of thing.
He's trying to escape. He's trying to escape! He's trying to escape!
I want to try yelling he's trying to escape in totally innocuous situations to see if it leads to someone getting wrestled to the floor. Just,
that would be great.
Oh, just gonna use the toilet. Oh, sure, mate. Then wait till he gets to the door. He's trying to escape! What?
I'm just gonna shout that every time Craig wanders away.
He's making a run for it!
Later, they also shout medic, which to me is a wild... Like, I didn't notice it, but Craig was like, they shouted medic?
Anybody see what happened? Medic! Came through the door.
Is this a war zone or nah?
Hey, you could shout medic. Everyone gets one, so you have to be careful. But you can shout medic, and
one time in your life
will show up.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. I'll keep a note of it. What happens if you shout medic twice? You end up in an elevator with the devil.
You become the medic, and you have to show up for someone else.
Oh damn, that would suck. They don't get paid enough for that.
So the medic who shows up for you will just be someone who tried to yell medic twice. So it's not going to be great service they offer you.
They'll do their best, but they don't really know what they're doing.
But it's the enthusiasm you got to respect. So it turns out actually quite a lot of people wanted to kill Shyamalan because of a Ponzi scheme he did where a bunch of people lost their asses.
3 years ago, he started one of those Ponzi schemes, and when it collapsed, a lot of people lost their asses.
Aha! All we need to do then is check which of these people in the elevator are missing an ass.
Who's not got an ass in there? I mean, honestly, it seems like Ponzi scheme Larry didn't have an ass to me. Like, he seemed pretty assless.
Yeah?
So maybe he stole his own ass.
And yet somehow Ponzi scheme Larry managed to seduce. He ended up in a relationship with Mad Men lady. What's her name?
Oh,
yeah. Christina Hendricks.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That actor?
I think so. Yeah.
What?
I remember finding that out and being very, very surprised.
I'm just angry. I'm like, why does he get that? That seems unfair. I don't think he's
I just looked it up and it's still true.
Oh, what? What?
Yep.
How?
Yep.
He must be either really good in bed or really, really funny. One of those two. Like, there can be no in between.
Neither of which are evident in this.
Or great at cooking. Those are the three that you can be.
Ah, that at the least we don't get evidence for.
We don't know. He might be.
Oh, hang on. No, okay, they are separated now. But he's still he hang in there for 10 years.
That's, I mean, you know, that's all anyone can ask for. Have 10 years of your life. Do you think he did one of those, you can either do this or that? Like 10 years of your life living with Christina Hendricks and you die? Or 100 years living or live forever, you know?
Oh, God. Your life is reduced by 10 years, but you do get to spend 10 years with Christina Hendricks. I would consider it.
Yeah, I think real hard about that.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's going to be your 70s. And at least when you die at age 64 or so, you'll still remember what it was like to be with Christina Hendricks for
That's
10
true.
years.
And also the 70s to 80s is Like, the worst,
that's
it's
not
the
the
worst years. It's not a great time anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well die earlier.
Absolutely. And that is how I'm justifying most of my decisions.
Yes.
So, crazy security guard talks more about the devil, prompting an amazing little monologue from the detective about the nature of man.
What's this?
An apology note left at the site of a hit and run. My wife and son were killed out on Bethlehem Pike 5 years ago, but that's okay, because whoever did it is sorry. You can tell by the heartfelt apology on the back of a car wash coupon. So no, I don't believe in the devil. We don't need him. People are bad enough by themselves.
Someone writing "I'm sorry" on a coupon.
Yeah, on a coupon he had, which is quite something, to be fair.
I mean, yeah, but look, if you've not got any paper and you do want to write "I'm sorry," what are you going to do? You're just going to write it in the person's blood on the windscreen or something.
This is why you have to keep a pad of paper in your car in case you have to leave any notes.
And this is something that's
any families you've killed.
This is something that's born through the whole film because none of them have a pen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, be prepared, everyone. This movie was made by stationers who are trying to get work. Oh no, though, our beloved repairman falls to his death onto the roof of the elevator. Ah! We're saved! Everyone in the elevator is sure that Saviour has arrived because the fucking guy has just pancaked onto the roof.
You do wonder, it's like a loud noise and then someone not picking up a walkie-talkie. Clearly, we're being saved now.
It's finally over, guys.
Woo!
Oh god. So the lights go out again, and the judgmental old lady gets hanged. And at this stage, so the guy looking at the feed says, "Right, it's time to lock down this building. 2 murders? It's getting serious now."
And how will that help?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Like, everything's happened within the lift so far. What are you doing by shutting down the rest of the building?
Oh my god. So,
wild.
hilarious superstitious guard offers the line,
He always kills the last victim in front of the person they love most, to make cynics of us all.
Just wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful stuff. Oh god. And it's just so specific as well.
It's suspicious as well, because your grandma knows an awful lot about what the devil does to do and doesn't like to do. What's going on with grandma, friend? Have you spoken to us recently?
And how do these stories tend to manifest? And at this stage, he will try to comment to the others on how good his mattresses are. It'll always happen that way. There will always be a mattress seller amongst the devil's victims.
Because mattress sellers are on par with Hitler.
There's never been a good one.
Not once.
Oh, God.
Casper. Fuck you, Casper. Not getting that deal now, huh?
So, hilarious superstitious guard has hilariously been left alone with the radio, so he starts praying, which upsets everyone and causes a massive incident. I think the drama at this stage revolves around the fact that they've discovered that Jodie Foster is a bit of a deceitful woman.
A deceitful woman?
She plays men against each other.
Couldn't possibly
and
be
is a gold
worse.
digger.
She deserves to die.
One of the main problems of our society, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the people that definitely should go to hell is someone who's reclaiming their own feminine wiles for their own good.
Absolutely. Oh God, that's meant to be our thing. It's finding women sexy. The idea that it might be used for the benefit of the person we're finding sexy is really upsetting and frightening, actually.
How dare she? Kill her immediately, stab her in the neck.
I'm so glad she's here. The older, less hilarious security guard gets electrocuted by the aforementioned puddle.
Yep.
And they start to suspect the guard might really be the killer because he works for the husband that she's been gold digging.
And don't the other guards also work for the husband, though? I swear
Yeah.
I saw on their little badge Caraway as well. I could be wrong. Or is it Caraway?
I think so. So, he's been, selected for special duties. But the guard dies by... He dies by having his head twisted all the way round, which every white man ever hilariously thinks she might have done. Look, maybe she powerlifts, you know? We don't know. We don't know how much she can bench.
Well, I just think it's sexist that you don't think she could have done that.
I know, right? Oh my god. I'm part of the problem.
How dare you?
This woman has the wherewithal to marry a rich guy.
She could definitely twist someone's neck all the way around. For shoresies. Who can do that, though? I don't think that's a thing that anyone functionally can do. Like,
oh, I bet Dave Bautista could do it, but he wouldn't.
But he wouldn't because he's a nice man. And same goes for
that's the twist. All the people who are strong enough to do it are too nice.
Just would never do it. The same goes for The Rock.
Yeah.
I just don't think The Rock would twist someone's neck around all the way around.
It's hard to imagine.
Jason Statham might.
Oh, he might.
I look at him and I think he could and would and probably has.
Oh, God. So, yes, Detective Zachary Squinto tries to monologue them into being good, which kind of works. They put the knights down. But there is a devil about, so they could maybe have kept those on them. So Jodie Foster gets killed, but surprise, it was the frail old judgmental lady who was the devil. And double surprise, every white guy gave Zachary Squinto his dark past by accidentally killing his family.
No!
No!
This is something I want to point out as a weird Shyamalan trope. So, in Signs, Shyamalan plays the man who falls asleep at the wheel and kills the dude's wife. Sorry, I was being way too progressive for a Shyamalan movie. Anyway, kills the dude's wife and he loses his faith, right? In this movie, the dude gets drunk, kills the dude's wife, and he loses his faith and then gains it back again. It's the same fucking story.
To be fair, like, Stephen King has a lot of drunk drivers, but to be fair, that is because he was once run over by a drunk driver, so that kind of played on his memory a little bit.
That drunk driver was Shyamalan?
Oh no! Stephen King was run over by M. Night Shyamalan. Now that is a twist.
That's a twist. That's a twist worthy
that is a
of
great
a Shyamalan
twist.
movie.
God. You know, every so often a scary movie joke does just embed itself firmly into my memory of a horror film, because when I try to think of Signs, the bit where he shows up and his Denise Richards has been hit by a car, I just remember the Scary Movie 3 joke where Charlie Sheen shows up for the hat. Oh yeah, it's Denise Richards in Scary Movie. See, I just did it. Like, well, I'm thinking it's not Denise Richards in Signs. Yeah, she shows up and the M. Night Shyamalan character is at the side of the road with like a police blanket around him, and he just says, "John, I need a ride home."
But I am starting to think that Shyamalan's got something to hide.
Yeah, I think so. He definitely hit Stephen King. I have no more notes on the plot. What happens? He confesses, every white man does. Yeah. And so the devil decides to let him off.
And the devil's like, "Oh, I really wanted you. I'm sad now." And then just wanders off somewhere. Like,
you
poof,
got me on a
gone.
Technicality.
Yeah. Like it is. She turns around and goes, "I was really hoping to get you." Oh.
And the cop, who has gone on a wild journey, but the cop opens the elevator door and finds that the devil is missing, and runs about the place like Kaiser Soze is just giving him the slip.
Like, if you believe now,
what good is arresting this old lady gonna do?
For sure.
You were hoping to arrest the devil.
So then
I'm sorry that didn't work out.
He takes the dude in his car and he goes, "That was my family." Rawr.
Yeah.
And then he says, "I forgive you," for which I wrote "ew." And then the next bit is, "If the devil is real, then God must be real too." And
the city is the right way up now.
The city is the right way up now. Yeah, that's what I was like.
Yay!
Oh, it's right way up. There's no devil, clearly.
Yay! Good stuff. That's why the jam kept landing. It's because the world was upside down.
It was upside down. I mean, if you're in Philadelphia and it suddenly turns upside down, there's a devil in there.
Yeah.
That's at least I know now if I ever visit Philadelphia, just to keep an eye out for whether we're upside down or not.
The building's always this way up.
Oh, bum.
Can't believe it. Bloody devil's about again. Nobody get into any elevators. So that was Devil. How did it hold up the second time round?
It was worse, but I enjoyed watching it more because I was watching it with Craig.
Yeah.
I think, and he noticed some things that I didn't notice. And just I don't know, there was just some fun bits to laugh at, frankly. Like it was
There really were. It was less silly than I remember. I remember it being just constant. Like, all I remembered were the funny bits.
Yeah.
I remembered the security guard. I remembered the terrible dialogue. I remembered the guy, the M. Night Shyamalan stand-in in the lift being Mr. Christina Hendricks. I remember him being way more annoying.
Yeah.
He only really has like one monologue of being annoying before he gets killed.
Yeah, and he does that thing at the start, like, when they're just in the lift and it's just shut down, and he starts singing along to the music. You're like, I don't think that's that annoying. That's kind of, I'd be like, "Hey, you know the song, let's sing the song. Let's keep our spirits up, friend." Like,
Yeah.
they were all like, really, oh, stop being such a dickhead. It was like, well, he's not doing that much. Jesus, calm down.
He's just trying to kill the tension a bit.
I'd be way more annoying than that in a lift. And I would be the first to die. And it wouldn't be the devil.
Hooray.
People would just kill me.
It wasn't. Yeah, the devil just didn't get round to you. As a so bad it's good movie, it still works pretty well. It's still pretty funny in ways that don't feel entirely on purpose. So it kind of works for that. As its own legitimate film, I think what surprised me is how little it actually commits to its own premise.
Yeah.
Because if you look at something like Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat, that movie is in a lifeboat. That whole movie is in the lifeboat
It's just in
with
the
just these
lifeboat.
characters.
Yeah.
And there's other movies that have done similar things. There's a British movie called Exam a few years ago, which is entirely set in a room of a bunch of people trying to do a job interview in a dystopian future. And it's all in that room. And there's been other things. Cube, for
12
example.
Angry Men.
12 Angry Men. Like, there's plenty of great stuff where it is just one room with a small group of people, and you could make that movie. And think of Buried as well. Ryan Reynolds just like in a box the whole movie.
Or
with
127
no cutting away.
hours as well. I mean, I think there is cutting away in that, but it's pretty much just you with this man
I think
going through shit.
I'm always a little disappointed when there's cutting away. I think it always just is like, you sold me on the premise of this being a contained like pot boiler bottle episode, and it's kind of a shame that we're like doing this police investigation. It reminds me of the Saw movies, where you're always just like, just go back to the game.
I just want to see
It's
all
what
the
we're
horrible
all
murders.
here for. We don't care that, John Kramer has another warehouse registered to him. Let's go. Oh, thrilling. No, just get back to the games. It's what we're all here for.
We don't care about all this other stuff.
Yeah. And a lot of this movie is that dark past detective just trying to follow red herrings.
Yeah.
Like,
and
reasons that...
there's
Some of
a
the red
bit-
herrings are kind of fun.
There's a bit where they talk about suicide notes that really tickled me.
Oh,
she
yeah.
says,
This is a weird thing to include in a suicide note.
most suicide notes are all crazy or all rational. And I was like,
Rational. Let's go back to rational. I mean, look at this. Look at this one. This note is entirely understandable. It's why I'd kill myself.
in fact, it's persuaded me, frankly. It's really good. I'm going to go over later and just, copy this note and kill myself, like, what?
Wow, this is a good note. Yeah, thanks, it's mine. So, like that, she needs a holiday.
She needs a little sleep, I think.
Nobody ever checks in on the mental health of the lady who's in charge of reading all the suicide notes.
suicide notes. I know, is that her only job as well? I couldn't figure out her job, because she seemed to just be coming in at random points, smiling cheerfully and saying, well, this is strange, and then wandering off again.
Oh, is she that lady from the beginning who I could have sworn was going to be something?
Yeah.
She's like, hey. He's like, hey.
Yeah,
And
she
goes
was
off.
that lady. It was like, what is she for? Who is she? Is she a forensic person or something? Like, what is happening?
She's just a friend.
She's just a
friend
mate.
of
She's
that
just
guy.
over there. She's
Yeah.
like, look at this suicide note, friend. Let's bitch about it and text later or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I wanted more of. More silliness, more this isn't how the police work. More there's only 5 people in this movie. Kind of just that kind of thing. But I don't know. For what it is, it works relatively well as an entertaining little camp thing. And I would like to have seen more of the Night Chronicles, I think. It's strange that it didn't happen, considering this movie did make money.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, look, I found it annoying, but I also found it weirdly endearing. Because they're trying.
Yeah.
They're doing a thing,
They are.
I guess.
That's the thing about Shyamalan that's always so strange, is you feel like a bit of a cynic sometimes, because he is always being quite sincere.
He's very
You never
sincere.
feel like any of his movies are cynical. No. They're just incompetent.
He really means it. He just doesn't know what he means.
And it's frustrating, because you feel like there's such a great talent getting in. But this proves, if I've ever said of him, he's a great idea guy, he just needs to not be directly involved in, like, the movie. This proves that that's not enough. It literally needs to be story by M. Night Shyamalan, and then he's not involved in any other part of the process.
Is it bad I feel the same way about Stephen King? I don't like his books, but
Ooh.
the
Agreed.
films made of his stories are really good. So it's like he's good at stories, but not very good at the actual in-between righty bits, in my opinion.
Yeah, his prose has always been very tricky, and I don't know, with Stephen King, like, I've always found that the movies of of like his works that I've liked the best are the ones where the directors came in, basically used the story and told their own movie.
Took out a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Like I remember talking to someone who preferred the Shining book.
What?
And it's just like, yeah, I know. And they were like, oh, I think it's really scary the way the hedge monsters come to life. And I'm like, really?
No, it's not.
That's like the dumbest part of the book.
That's the least scary thing you could possibly think of.
I know.
Hedge monsters.
And all of it, whenever, because every so often I get interested in the Dark Tower thing that he wrote.
Yeah.
But every time I get to the bit where like cars are alive or something, and I just think this isn't quite right for me. This medieval fantasy movie where he keeps getting into car crashes.
And again, with Stephen King, you get the feeling that it's very it's not cynical. Again, there's no cynicism to it. And this is what they want to do, but it's just there's some things that just don't work, friend. You know?
Yeah, sometimes you just don't have the thing in common with the person. What Stephen King finds scary is just not what I find scary, and that's fine.
Yes.
But I do appreciate the fact that his premises at least, because this is a good premise.
Yeah.
You know, it just needs more of a hands-off approach because I feel like these two goobers that he's hired to write and direct this movie are basically Shyamalan clones.
Yeah. Or they're at least
something
they're just
about
yes
the way
men,
you write. Yeah, there's something about the way you write dialogue that really resonates with me.
Suck a butt.
Being.
Why don't you suck a butt?
Suck a butt gets said.
What the fuck?
Oh god.
Can I mention? I'll save that for good things. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say.
Well, let's get to good things. Let us quickfire the stuff we liked about this movie. Quickfire.
So I quite like the ominous upside down Philadelphia. I thought that was because it's like the opposite of rom-coms. You come in and you have like a nice skyscape.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite a nice way to say it. This is a scary film set in a city.
Yeah. And the remake of Candyman started the same way, like a couple of years ago. Not the remake, the legacy sequel to Candyman.
The thingy,
yeah, from a couple of years ago.
So I like that.
That started the same way and was really menacing. Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Makes
and I had to watch the beginning of Candyman thinking about Devil.
I'm sorry.
It could be a good detail in a whodunit is the idea that a guy jumps from a building onto a truck and the truck then rolls down the street, changing the crime scene.
Yeah.
Like, that could be done well. Like, he noticed it really early on. He notices there's no glass.
Yeah. It's way too quick is the problem.
And that the truck bounced off of, like, this rebar thing.
Yeah.
And, like, that could be a fun idea. There's things that could be done with that, where you have to now figure out where the jump happened from.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that was an interesting thing. Alternately, something that I don't like, but I did find funny. The building they're in is 333 Locust Street.
Right. Okay.
On the
333. That's so dumb.
It's so on the nose. And who names a street after locusts?
Barry Locust, the entrepreneur the city needed.
So yeah, I like that, but in a way that I hate it. If you know what I mean, I find that very funny
absolutely
and stupid.
I really like the rainy city streets because we often cut outside and it's just there's a scene actually where the ambulance pulls up to the building and it's just like a locked on camera onto the ambulance, the Shy ambulance, and actually it's a fire department actually because they're going to cut through the door or through the wall in order to try and get to this thing because apparently they're like way too far between doors. They can't just go and pry the door open and get down there, so they have to drill through the wall of this place.
Wild.
Insane, because that's easier than cutting through the door. Just the tracking shot of like the vehicle pulling up to the building in a fixed shot with like rain. It felt good. It felt suitably sort of Michael Mann or Christopher Nolan-esque, which I like.
Yeah, and it's very Philadelphia because the weather's apparently
there, right?
Yeah. My next one good thing is the inclusion of the Motorola Razr, which gave me a
oh yeah,
like, yeah!
Oh yeah,
main characters here.
Oh god, at the point where they're like, use your phones to illuminate everything. First of all, the idea that wouldn't occur to people immediately is so 2010, but then they get their tiny little phone screens out. It's just no torches on them.
So adorable.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's amazing how far we've come in like 13 years that these phones are suddenly like adorable.
It's almost disturbing how far we've come in 13
I know,
years.
right?
But that's fine.
God.
We're not in a hellscape of future. Don't worry.
Oh God. There's a good edit, I think, where an unfunny security guard is down in the basement and he's trying to put the cable back onto the hook, and he decides that he needs to put his foot in the puddle, so he tentatively raises his foot over the puddle, and just when he's about to make contact with the water, we cut to like the drill the drill like going into the wall, and there's like sparks from it, and it was good. It was like really sudden and abrupt. It was quite a good cut.
But then the immediate aftermath of him running into the place and someone shouting medic made it fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And another guy shouts, "He came through the door."
Really? Not the ceiling?
Oh, okay. The door.
The door. Which door? I one of my good things was Dwight the maintenance man. I thought he was, I don't know, there was just something about him that charmed me.
My last good thing, actually, is the crash. When we actually get a little flashback to see the car crash that killed Darkpast's family. Mm-hmm. It's quite good because he's like bending down trying to pick something up, and he's got like the headlights, and then the car, suddenly shows up in the headlights really quick, and it's like side on.
Yeah, it feels quite like
that was
like a car crash would feel to some extent.
Yeah, it feels very dramatic and quite sudden, and some of the jump scares really got me.
Then they ruin it by showing what is clearly a Chucky doll, not a child.
That's shot out of the windscreen somehow, even though he hit the car side on. Like, there's a perfect little hole in the windshield, and the kid is like 20 feet away.
They classically go for the
Oh, God.
Well, look, the kids clearly didn't have a seatbelt on, so, like, I blame the mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always blame the mother in these things. That's just the way to go. I quite like the fact that the start and the end, it's a shot of Philly upside down. Oh no, we've said this. And a shot of Philly no longer upside down. I liked that. I thought, that showed some thought into it. That was nice.
Yeah. The world at right.
And, alternately, I also enjoyed the just many stupid quotes in it, like the toast quote and, like,
The toast is amazing. Toast always lands jelly side down because it's the heavier side.
That's the weight of toast. It's very standard. That's obvious.
It's so innocuous. And also, why was that toast just around?
He has
just
that
had some jelly
just in
toast
case.
on hand.
I think it's because his grandma said to him, keep a jelly toast on hand in case you need to find out if the devil is here.
It's like his totem from Inception.
You can't just bring a child round with you and see if it'll hit its head on a table. You have to. Toast is easier conveyed with you, really, isn't it?
It's like he sat there like Cobb from Inception. He just gets the toast out and then puts a gun to his head and then drops it to see if he's.
Or you imagine Ramirez is in Inception and he's just like flopping this toast. Oh no! I love
my
that.
God.
That's funny.
Amazing. Well then, let me just check in with the OG team.
OG team?
We didn't hear from the OG team this time. They are all still massively hungover from the big New Year's party they had without us, which...
Rude.
It's outrageous,
Quite rude.
but I respect it.
Screw you, OG team.
OG team, and that's a screw you from us. Excellent. Okay, so I guess the thing to discuss now is the one better thing. The one better thing. Any ideas?
I really struggled to think of a one better thing because, again, I don't know what genre this is in.
Yeah, true.
It's like some kind of weird... horror, action, religious thing. But Craig made a good suggestion, I think, which was phone booth.
Oh, yes.
Because phone booth is the whole, it's in one place, you got to figure out who's the guy and whatever. It's very similar sort of concept. Just there's not the devil in there, but it's in one place. And I enjoyed phone booth significantly more than I enjoyed devil, so.
That's fair.
I think maybe just because Colin Farrell's in it.
Colin Farrell's in it, and I think it's Joel Schumacher, actually. It was like his first movie after like Batman and Robin. He made Phone Booth.
Nice.
It's kind of like a mea culpa. And yeah, it's good stuff. It's been a while, but I remember really liking it.
Yeah. This is the thing for me as well. It has been a while with Phone Booth, and I also remember really liking it. And I also remember it being fairly like similar to Devil, so I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you think of? Because I was really stumped with this one.
So, as I mentioned earlier, there is a movie called Exam, directed by Stuart Hazeldine, and I feel like I've probably had it as a One Better Thing before. It's a British film, and it is entirely about a bunch of individuals who are brought into a room and are told that they are going to have 1 hour to answer the exam that has been set to them. An hour, like 80 minutes or something like that. There's 8 of them. And they turn over their papers, and there is nothing there. Nothing on the paper whatsoever. And they basically are in this room. They can't talk to anyone. They can talk to each other, but there's no invigilator. There's nothing there. And they have to just figure out what it is they have to do to earn this job, which is, as you find out as the movie goes on, extremely important to have and could be a life or death thing.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was very good. It's a British indie movie, and it has some awkward performances. Stuff that only really sounds unnatural, I think, if you're British, and you can, like, hear it, and it's like, oh, okay, that's not how people talk. But there's some really good people in there. There's Gemma Chan in there. Yeah, and I just remember it being a really good drama where the whole drama of the thing comes from those characters and how they interact with each other. Yeah, and it's kind of a sci-fi movie too.
Piggybacking off that, maybe Cube.
Yes,
Cube would work as well as a small
Cube's
space. Have to figure shit out to get out.
Exactly.
Sort of scenario.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it in a while again though.
Oh, I remember loving Cube. And
Yeah,
again, Exam works in that way where there's like clues and different developments and things change and, they turn on each other and it's very character driven. And that's what you want to see in a film like this.
Yeah, whereas the problem with Devil is none of the people in the elevator are actually trying to figure anything out. They're all just yelling at each other. And
yeah, they just lose their shit immediately.
Yeah, there's no...
And they're not interesting enough. You don't have any shifting, and they're all very unlikable as well.
Yeah,
so you don't root for anyone.
Yeah, and the only people you like generally are outside of the elevator, which is well, okay.
Like the hilarious cop.
Yeah, I'm only entertained by the people who aren't in the elevator, whereas really what you want is people who have interesting layers, and you're trying to figure them out and find out what makes them tick and stuff but
exactly.
It does not do that.
It does not do that, and that is the missed opportunity of Devil.
Yes.
Okay, so how can people find out more about Roll Plus Heart?
They can... We have a Twitter, @Roll+Heart.
Jolly good.
We have a website now, but I probably shouldn't tell you. You know what? You'll find out about it on Twitter. If you look on Twitter, we'll post it at some point, because I don't think we've finished our website.
Oh, God.
You can find us on Facebook, although we don't update that very often, because I was meant to be doing it and then I forgot.
What?
But if you want to talk to us, I will still reply to things on the Facebook. So, it's still a viable way to get in contact. We have an email address, rollplusheart@gmail.com, if you want to, I don't know, yell at us or ask us to do things for you.
Exclusively for complaints and requests.
Well, and spam mail generally is what I find it's mostly useful.
Love it. Love that.
And
Gotta
those
get
are all
that
the
in
things.
somehow.
But if you want to contact me, you can't. I am the ethereal creature of doom. I simply will not talk to you ever.
You only appear where there has been a suicide and then a bunch of weirdos get into a lift.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I'm gone.
The greatest trick that Helen ever achieved was convincing the world she did not exist.
Yeah, I'm just a voice that Sarah puts on.
That makes sense.
That explains things.
That explains your Muppety countenance.
Yeah, I am very Muppety looking.
Your Muppety complexion.
I am purple.
Oh, God. Well, if you want to send us some spam mail, then what you need is ogtpod @gmail.com or just anywhere you like, really. Put it into Twitter or Facebook or, any search engine, OGTpod, and you will find out all about The One Good Thing. We have a Patreon where we have all sorts of crazy content, including some stuff featuring Helen now. So get on in there. We've also just run down our favourite movies of all time based on a recent reevaluation. And, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, so get in there and enjoy it all.
A lot of good things, you might even say.
Oh my God!
It's the name
so
of the
many.
film. No.
I love the title drop. Like the bit in this where they're like, hellevator. Oh no, that's right. I'm Paulevator.
I'm Hell on Earth.
There you go.
My name is written for it.
And remember, the one good thing about M. Night Shyamalan's Devil is It's the toast bit.
It's the toast bit. That's not lying.
It's the toast bit, guys. Come on. Let's be honest with ourselves.
And children's heads hitting tables is also pretty good.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for it.